It was supposed to be the happiest day of the year. The streets of Maplewood, a small Midwestern town, were alive with color, fireworks, laughter, music, and the smell of funnel cakes filling the air. Every year, the Maplewood Harvest Festival brought people together, a 3-day celebration marking the end of summer. It was the town's pride, a tradition stretching back over 50 years. But in 2019, it became something else entirely, because on the final night of that year's festival, one woman vanished, in front of hundreds of people, without a sound, without a trace. Her name was Sarah Jennings, and her disappearance turned Maplewood's proudest tradition into its darkest mystery. September 14, 2019, the last night of the festival. Sarah Jennings, 28 years old, bright, kind, and full of life. She'd grown up in Maplewood, worked at the local library, and volunteered every year at the festival. Everyone knew her, and everyone liked her. That night, Sarah was assigned to the raffle booth near the main stage. She texted her best friend, Lena, at 8:42 p.m. "Raffle almost done. Meet me by the Ferris wheel in 10. Lena replied at 8:44. "Got it. Want a lemonade?" Sarah never responded. At 8:50 p.m., witnesses saw her talking to someone, a tall man in a dark jacket. At 8:53, the raffle ended. By 9:00, Sarah was gone. At first, no one noticed. The festival was loud, crowded, chaotic. People thought Sarah had gone to grab food or help at another booth. But by 9:30, when Lena couldn't find her, she knew something was wrong. Her calls went straight to voicemail. By 10:15, Sarah's car was still parked exactly where she'd left it, near the south gate. Her phone, wallet, and keys were gone. Police were called just before midnight, and from that moment on, Maplewood would never sleep the same way again. Detectives started piecing together the timeline. Dozens of witnesses had seen Sarah throughout the day, laughing, smiling, handing out tickets. But after 8:45, she seemed to vanish into thin air. Security cameras around the main stage captured her walking toward the food stalls. Then, nothing. One camera went dark at 8:51 p.m. When it came back online 5 minutes later, Sarah was gone. And here's where things got strange. That same camera feed showed a tall figure wearing a maintenance badge, carrying a large black duffel bag, walking in the opposite direction. The maintenance crew, however, had no record of anyone matching that description on staff. Theories spread like wildfire. Some said Sarah ran away. Others whispered about a jealous ex-boyfriend. But the most chilling rumor came from a carnival worker, a drifter who'd been part of the traveling rides team. He claimed he'd seen Sarah being led behind the storage tents by someone who looked official. When police questioned him, he couldn't remember the man's face, only that he wore gloves and didn't belong there. Within days, the town was divided. The festival board suspended all future events. Parents kept their kids home, and the once bustling town square turned quiet. Detectives searched every inch of Maplewood Park, the fairgrounds, the nearby woods, even the riverbank. Nothing. Then 2 weeks later, a jogger made a discovery: Sarah's employee badge, lying half-buried near the old maintenance shed, a part of the fairgrounds long shut down. Inside that shed, investigators found zip ties, duct tape, and a single earring matching the one Sarah had been wearing that night. But the most disturbing item was a festival security vest, one that didn't belong to any of the crew. That vest led them to a name: Ethan Ward. Ethan Ward, 34, was a seasonal contractor who helped set up lights and power for local events. He'd worked at the festival the year before. Neighbors described him as quiet, polite, but off. When police visited his apartment, they found festival maps, a notebook of schedules, and photos of various volunteers, including Sarah. The notebook had her name circled. But before detectives could bring him in, Ethan disappeared. He'd left behind his car, his phone, even his dog. And there, under his bed, was something no one expected: a ticket stub from the 2018 festival, with the words, "She's next," written in the corner. Police went back through reports from the previous festival years and found something alarming. In 2017, a woman named Diane Moore reported being followed after volunteering at the festival. She described her stalker as a thin man in a security vest. No suspect was ever found. In 2018, a college student named Holly Grant went missing 2 towns over after attending a similar fall fair. The setup crew? Same company that hired Ethan Ward. It wasn't just Maplewood. This was a pattern. 6 months later, in early 2020, a farmer 20 miles outside Maplewood called police after discovering something strange on his property: a buried storage trunk rusted shut. Inside were festival wristbands, photos of multiple women, and a phone, Sarah's phone. But the most chilling thing inside that trunk was a festival staff badge. Number 47. Records showed that number was never assigned to anyone. Fingerprint analysis came back, a partial match to Ethan Ward. But here's the catch: the prints were old, weeks old. So where was Ethan? In 2022, despite public outcry, Maplewood decided to bring the festival back. To honor Sarah's memory, they said. Security was tight, cameras everywhere. And yet, on opening night, someone left a folded note on the information booth. It was never about her. It was about who she trusted. Detectives confirmed it wasn't Ethan's handwriting. In fact, it wasn't anyone's in the database. But under UV light, the message revealed another line, faint but clear. See you at closing time. The note was signed 47. The final night of the 2022 festival was tense. Crowds were smaller. Cameras covered every corner. At 8:50 p.m., the exact time Sarah disappeared 3 years earlier, power to the main stage cut out. The lights went dark for 30 seconds. When they came back on, another woman was gone. Her name was Lena Foster, Sarah's best friend. She'd been volunteering again for the first time since that night. And once again, no one saw a thing. Police combed through every inch of the grounds, every tent, every van. Nothing. But just before dawn, officers found something under the Ferris wheel, a single carnival balloon tied to a wooden stake. Attached to it was a card. It always ends where it began. 47-inch. Inside the envelope was a photo, taken that same night. Lena, standing by the raffle booth, smiling. And behind her, blurry but unmistakable, a tall man in a dark jacket. The timestamp? 8:43 p.m. The same minute Sarah sent her last message 3 years ago. Was Ethan Ward the true culprit, or just another pawn in something much darker? Who is 47 foot? And how could someone repeat the same crime at the same festival, years apart, under police surveillance? The Maplewood Festival was supposed to celebrate life, love, and community. But now, it's a reminder that even the happiest places can hide the darkest secrets. Because in Maplewood, the music always stops at 8:50.